Hello, YouTube friends. This is Richard Mabey with Richard Mabey Presents. I'm going to title this YouTube episode Journey to the Mailbox Center. Or maybe just call it Journey to the Mailbox. I'm not sure. I have a bit of a sore throat. But we have 2 packages at the Mailbox Center, which I'm determined to get. And also, we haven't gotten the mail in a while. So it gets, the mailboxes are very small. So if you let it go for a couple days, it gets crammed in. And the magazines get folded in half and everything gets smashed in. Because normally I would just not let it go. Wednesday afternoon or late afternoon or whatever it was, we went to the convenience store to get milk and bread and a few things. Because it's better than going to the grocery store. You just go in and boom, bang, you get what you need. You pay a little more, but obviously they call it the convenience store. But so anyway, came back out of the convenience store, and you know when you start your car up, you could just instinctively tell it's not right. So whatever it was, we started out, my sister and I started on 466A, but the car wouldn't go over 20 miles an hour. It wouldn't shift. So we got off of 466A and took all back roads home, so that, you know, cars weren't right behind us or nearly colliding into us. I'm going to switch my hands here. So I'm wearing my knapsack because I'm going to put my mail in there, and someone's behind me here. And they always walk by me and look at me as if I'm nuts, you know, talking. He's like a crazy guy. He's got a YouTube channel or something. So I'm going to take a break. I have some cough drops with me. It's hard to do anything. You know, when one hand holds the camera, you'd be surprised. Like I can't get my cough drop out. So I'm going to do that. Put this on hold for a moment and then come back. Be right back. So the people behind me, they walk to their house, so they're not behind me, you know what I mean? Like, I always get self-conscious. Someone's just a few yards or a few feet behind me and I'm talking to the camera. It feels kind of weird. I'm going to switch my hands. I don't know, I'm at a philosophical point with my YouTube channel. You know, it's not always kind. The remarks aren't always kind. A car is going to go by me here. I think I'm totally nuts. Oh no, he pulled in his driveway. He's looking at me like I'm totally nuts. So I'm going to slow down my pace. I don't walk by him and he's like looking at me funny, and you know. But a philosophical point of, you know, I guess in a deeper sense, and I hadn't really thought it all out, why do I do this? Why do I do this? And I do get a degree of satisfaction from it. I'm going to cross the street here. 4th of July, everybody's got the flag out, and all the flags are getting wet. So one thing I learned in Scouts, you don't leave a... Looking at me like I'm crazy. I'll take a break and be right back. I'm back. it was kind of funny because the lady got out of her car from the driver's side, and normally we just walk into the garage, but she walked to her garage door and kind of looked at me funny, like what are you doing, you know, kind of thing. So it doesn't. One thing about living in these gated communities, you have to. Not only are the homes all cookie cutter homes, but the way you are expected to act and have a certain culture and have a certain perspective, kind of like a certain common denominator. And to be blunt, to be really frank about it, and it always kind of hurt me at first, I don't fit in very well. I don't fit in. So I'm a little bit out there, you know, and one of the things now, one of the slogans is, well, there's help wanted signs out there, and people would rather sit home and collect unemployment than go out there and get a job. Well, you know, I can't. You know, I 67. I got the AT&T pension. I have my Social Security, and so, you know, and I still do some work. I walk dogs, and I gave up the gate guard thing. But if I, all things said, and if I was healthier, got some heart problems, heart issues, but all in all, I'd rather work and sit home and collect the unemployment thing. I think I collected unemployment once in my life, and I always felt goofy about it. You know, I go into the unemployment place, and I think you had to have 3 names a week, and I would go there, and this is in 1983, from the first time I worked at AT&T, before I worked at AT&T, and I worked at this First Aid Supply, did their newsletter. It was a first aid supply. Well, they didn't manufacture anything. Everything was overseas. But I guess you would call it distributorship, first aid supplies, and some surgical instrumentation, that kind of. And I did the weekly newsletter to the nationwide sales force and for the employees. But but I was out of work for about a month or so, and I always felt goofy going to. I always felt like the goofy guy going to the unemployment place. So to answer the question, I think the average person would rather work. And yeah, there's help wanted signs out there, but you know, you gotta, you know, if you're over the age of, if you're over the age of 20, you got to get a job that pays a decent amount of money. And most of these help wanted signs, at least here in Central Florida, are for fast food restaurants and that kind. And there's nothing wrong with working at fast food, but yeah. So this fellow's gonna look at me. So I'm at the Mailbox Center, and there's this bench with these sunflowers. They're artificial, but they're kind of nice and welcoming. And I'm gonna take a moment, and there's my package. I got the mail underneath, and I'm gonna put it in my knapsack, and then head out and take the walk home. It's about a half-mile walk, maybe a little more than a half mile, to the Mailbox Center from my house. And then what I'll do, so altogether I've probably walked maybe 1.25 miles, you know, round trip. So I'm going to sit on the bench for a while and maybe philosophize a little bit. So I've got my knapsack there, and on the left hand side you can see my umbrella. And on the right hand side, my bottle of water. And with the package, the knapsack's pretty full. So it stopped raining, and I'm going to head back home. So at the bench at the Mailbox Center, and on my left hand, over my left hand shoulder, is the gazebo in the little park. Back to me. And then over here is how do I get that a little better? The collection of sunflowers. Artificial, but better to have artificial sunflowers than no sunflowers. So, and there's a radio playing in the background. I don't hope the little, it's distant, very distant. Hope it's not copyright music, and B, it's not picked up on. It stopped raining. That fella just walked by, looked at me like I'm crazy. But I feel a little bit better mood than I was in when I first started walking here. And it's tough doing YouTube vlogs. It's really tough. I mean, you gotta have a thick skin. You really have to have a thick skin, and that's what I'm realizing. You really have to have a thick skin. And you appreciate the people that even say thank you or give you an attaboy once in a while. You really do appreciate that, because you get beat up a lot. you just get beat up a lot. It's getting a little busy here. People walking around and stuff. I have my Lincoln Park hat on. Today I wish I was in Lincoln Park right now, even though it's changed, and a lot of the people I knew, so like the people that were my scout leaders and my Sunday school teachers and my grade school teachers and high school teachers, I would say 99% of them have passed away. And the 1% that is still around, I'm not being a wise guy, they're in nursing homes. I'm going to switch my hand here, holding the stand. So there's a certain loneliness for that. Most of my relatives, my older cousins that even have passed away. And some of my cousins that I'm 67 now. A lot of quite a few of my cousins that were younger than me by a couple of years have passed away. And a lot of people, like old friends that I went to school with and I was in scouts with and that kind of thing, they've moved out of Lincoln Park. So it's not, I mean, maybe there's 10 people in all of Lincoln Park that I knew from growing up and from my time of coming of age and being a young man and that kind of thing. And even to being middle-aged. There's a fellow walking his dog. I'm going to start walking home. So, I've got my mail in my knapsack and I'm headed home. I just wanted to take a look-see over by the golf course. I don't get by this area that much anymore. Take a look at the bench I used to sit at a lot and just philosophize on life and think about life and dwell on my life at 67, you know. So I'm coming to the bench now. I always liked this area, this little nook with the pond and the golf course and a little ribbon of the concrete road for the golf carts. I'm going to flip the camera around. Hopefully this will work. There's the pond. There's the main, no, Oh, the snowbirds are gone, so the traffic's really light. I love this bench. But you see things like this. When I first came here 13 years ago, you would never see this. They've had patrol people come and people would clean that up. But yeah, you would never see like something like that. About 13 years ago. I've kind of have the feeling I've been here too long, you know, and I need to move on. I don't know if I want to stay in Central Florida. Northeast New Jersey is absolutely outrageously expensive. Property tax in itself is out of this world. A modest ranch home, say a modest ranch, 2-bedroom, 1 bath, maybe 1.5 bath, maybe on about 1/4 acre. You know, the usual little area in the backyard for the kiddies to have a swing set. Maybe not even enough to have a little above ground swimming pool. Not even big enough for that. And they're paying in Northeast New Jersey, they're paying about $13,000 a year property tax. So, you know, I've officially become an old guy now, and I can't. Now, what is this? This is number 4, par 4. And oh, the water, it's working now. That's pretty cool. Let's see. I just want to see if it, oh, it's very cool. I can't do that now. They have, I'm holding the camera. They have the paper cups here and the water fountain. A little garbage pail there. It's kind of cute. But I've got my water with me now. So I just like the feel of this little, I don't know what you'd call this, a little golf cart trail on the golf course. I just like the feel of it, you know. It's kind of a cozy feeling. And there's my, I say my bench, but the bench I like. There's the swimming pool. You know, a lot of people who don't live in a gated community say, well, it's all so wonderful. It's all so spectacular. Why would you want to leave it? And it's just grown. And now the road, right now, you see there's not a lot of traffic. But you hit like early November, and it's backed up. I mean, you know, it's kind of like the gated community in Central Florida is like the Jersey Shore in reverse. You know, in the Jersey Shore, your summer months, everything's congested, and they got rental homes, and the population shift increases, maybe doubles in those like Seaside, Point Pleasant, Bricktown, those kind of places. I'm thinking Asbury Park, I don't know, Atlantic City. Kind of doubles. But yeah, there's my bench. Okay, I'm gonna take a break and catch a little bit, do a little more philosophizing, reflections on my last leg. We got about a little more than a half-mile walk for home. I'll be right back. Well, YouTube friends, it started to rain again, and I'm on the last leg of my journey home. I had I keep it's a yellow poncho I have. It's got Mickey Mouse on the back from one of my visits to Walt Disney World. And I keep it in the car, and I forgot it. I was going to throw it in the knapsack, and I totally forgot it. But I'm okay. I had mixed feelings about wearing my Lincoln Park hat. I like it a lot, and I just didn't want to get it wet, and I didn't think ahead on that. One of my goals is that, and I'm having a hard time with it. I'm 6 foot tall, and I weigh 200 pounds. So I really need to lose about 20 pounds. And I'm having a hard time with it. And what I do, I used to fill up the plate really good, you know, sort of heaping, get a heaping supply of food on the plate. But I try this philosophy of leaving space. So I got the peas, and I got a chicken breast, the peas, and some potatoes. Oh, how about potatoes? I used to take mashed potatoes, just, you know, make Mount Everest out of Mount. Now I take them and I just try to do it sea level, and maybe an area like about like that, you know, and flat. But I can't, and I don't, you know, I was guilty about 3 o'clock in the afternoon, getting an ice cream cone, and maybe in the morning about 11:30. Oh, I don't know, having some peanut butter and crackers, peanut butter and saltines, like maybe 4 or 5. Actually, it would be 10, because you make a sandwich out of it. So yeah, 10 saltines with, so 5 little saltine cracker sandwiches with peanut butter in the middle. So I don't do that anymore, but I'm not losing weight, and it's kind of bothering me. There's a farm right here on my left-hand side. I mean, there's houses there, but right behind the houses is a farm. And I can't, you have to go walk through somebody's yard to film the farm. But they had, before this, now I always get confused. I think straight ahead is north. Yeah, that's east. So that's north. So north of my house, and then to the east, they didn't have homes built when we first got here. It was just open field. So you just get to the farm, and I'd go to the fence, and inevitably I would be there 3 minutes, maybe 5 minutes at the most, and the horse would come over, and I'd take a carrot with me, and I'd, you know, cut it or break it off and give him a little piece each time, and we became pretty good buddies, you know. And I don't know what the horse's name was. I called him Mr. Ed. I was like Wilbur, you know. So, and we were pretty good buddies for a good year. And then they built there. They built all the homes there. There's no way to get to the fence to the farm now. So that was 13 years ago. And I'm sure I'll start crying. I doubt if the horse is still with us. Probably in horse heaven, you know. There's a lot of flags out, little flags they put. And and when they leave it out in the rain. I remember on my Eagle Board review, caring for the United States flag was a big thing. And it actually was a separate book. And my dad was Scoutmaster. And I earned my Eagle Scout. It wasn't because my dad was Scoutmaster. But I had to read that book and pretty much memorize it. Now I'm always amazed how people don't know caring for the flag. I remember when I was a gate guard, it started to rain, so I went out and got the flag, brought it in, and properly folded or rolled it in, up on the staff, the stick, and everything like that. And some old geezer stops. And he says, "You don't have the flag out." I said, "Well, sir, it's raining out." He said, "Well, you still should have the flag out." I said, "No, no." So, I used to have like a different knapsack, but I would bring it to work. I'd bring a pitcher of lemonade and some Gatorade and a couple of apples and some snacks and things like that. So anyway, inevitably I would bring I don't know why, I would bring my old Boy Scout handbook, just sentimental. If there was a lull, I'd look it over, So I showed the old geezer. So he says, "I'm still going to report you." So I went in the gatehouse and I got the card for the top supervisor for security in the community, for the gated community. I said, "Yeah, give him a call and tell him it was raining. Tell him, be honest, tell him, So anyway, the next day, my supervisor, and I said, he says, "Yeah, he got a phone call about you." And I said, "Well, the flag comes in when it rains." And he says, "No, I didn't even realize that." So, you got the average, all this rah, rah, I love America and all that stuff. Most, I would say like a third. Nah, I'd say 25%. All right, 20%. All right, 15%. 15% of all these, rah, rah, I love America types, they don't know the first thing about caring for the flag. And that always amazes me. But I consider myself blessed that I was given that book. It was about 80 pages. And the word was out. If you get if they ask you questions about caring for the flag and you get even one of them wrong, you'll be taking your Eagle board review again, and you have to wait 6 months. And there were people scouts that in 6 months they were going to turn 18 in 3 months. So they got the question wrong. And once you're 18, you can't get Eagle Scout. You can't even go for the board. So they lost their chance to be an Eagle Scout. Basically, they didn't know how to care for the American flag, United States flag. That was one of the questions. It was a trick question. The American flag, there's no American flag. It's the United States flag. So America is a continent, divided north and south. I'm going to sign off. It stopped raining, so I'm homesick, a little homesick today. So stay strong, stay happy, stay safe. This is Richard Mabey, signing off.